Hi guys. Welcome to Battle Knights.
Should we have a theme song for Battle Knights? Should we come up with one?
Hold up, I forgot to put in an audio channel real quick. Yeah, sure. Let's. You got a good one?
Oh no, that's why I said we should come up with one, just like right now, just on the spot. I think.
Battle Knights, you gotta battle right if you want to be the champion. People will look down on you, and then you will be sad. Battle
That was
Knights.
pretty good.
Thanks,
That was
thanks.
challenge. It was challenging, like emotionally.
And like the really
I
funny
feel.
part is that that's going to be on a recording forever, so I'm never going to be able to escape that.
I will have Mount put that on our soundboard.
Oh no. Did you have to suggest that? Oh jeez, oh god. Hi guys. Yeah, I accidentally showed my YouTube to MP3 converter because I was thinking about maybe putting that music onto my computer and then running it through an audio track instead of the desktop track, but I was like, fuck it, I'm going to not. But I kept the link up anyway, and I accidentally showed it on stream, but it's okay.
Damn.
I
Everybody
paid for
docs
that.
Jay, I guess.
I totally paid for that.
Yes, put it on your soundboard, Pepsi Max.
So we have one battle today, and we're also gonna take some time after the battle to sort of review the battles that have happened already. Maybe go over some of
Yeah,
the stuff that remains in
it's
the
gonna be a lot
round.
of fun. I'm very psyched to see these two play because they're some of our more experienced players. I think this is our first pair of more experienced players really, taking a shot at a match. Eric versus Sleepy was pretty solid, but I think Sleepy's still a little inexperienced with his team, so he hasn't quite come into his own yet. But I think these two have pretty solid drafts. They're gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely. I think that no matter what, you're gonna see two people are gonna go pretty far in this league. They should be playoff favorites to at least compete in the playoffs. But you don't know what's going to happen by round 10. But what we do know is that in about 3 to 5 minutes, we're probably going to be starting this battle and seeing how it works out. So that'll be
Oh yeah.
fun. Yeah. And if you're joining us live, that's fantastic. Thank you. And also, if you're joining us from the YouTube, uh, remember, I actually saw in the statistics that 40% of the people who watch our videos are actually not subscribed. So if you go hit that subscribe button, that'd be fantastic. It's free and you can unsubscribe anytime. Thank you, Snow Point
For
Gang.
us, it's 100% of people watching have never subscribed.
I think we have
Don't
like,
subscribe or I'll come to your
I
house.
think we have like 4 subscribers. One of them is me, but
One of them is me.
oh no, we have two
Shit, we
subscribers.
50% subscribed to ourselves.
That's the saddest thing I've ever fucking heard. Oh no. Ah, jeez.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard, I think, personally.
I didn't put I didn't put chat onto the stream today, so I'm sorry about that, guys. Maybe next time.
Well, it sucks to be them. Probably what more importantly we want is just like a full screen of the battle. I don't know if you want to talk about their drafts at all and what you kind of predict that they'll bring, or if you just want to take a look at their starting Pokemon and give like 5 minutes of, oh, these it's interesting they brought this because this, or if we just want to get right into it.
Do we have
I'll be
a?
good either
Do we
way.
know what they're bringing? Do you?
Well, if you click the link to their battle, they are set up,
Oh,
they're
they're
ready to
set
go.
up. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So we can put that on the stream now if we want.
Yeah, let me get that linky. There it is. That's what that ping was
The
for.
Linky?
Okay. Here
That was for Blue. He's not here, but that was
Yeah,
for
I
him.
set this up perfectly. Fuck yeah. I got it
Yeah,
all good
yeah,
and
that
ready to
looks
go.
it's fucking clean with the shit.
Yeah, I totally spent hours preparing this, not like 20 minutes right before the stream started. I was like to Nick, like, yeah, we can do this as soon as you want. After I quickly set up this stream that I've been procrastinating. So
Full
yeah.
disclosure, everyone, we were gonna do this a half an hour early, but I got put on a detail last second, and that detail ended up being canceled like half an hour into it, so it was really weird. But we're here, and we're ready to watch these two play Pokemans.
Okay. Any thoughts when you're looking at their team initially before we get them ready to begin?
Yes, I do. I have so many thoughts with my brain and whatnot. So, an interesting thing that I don't think I personally realized until recently is that Becca kind of drafted a Sun team without really drawing too much attention to it. Mega Charizard Y, as we discussed in the draft, gets the Drought ability, which summons Sunlight, meaning its Fire type moves are going to get a big boost in power. But Venusaur has the Chlorophyll ability, which doubles its speed under sunlight. And Venusaur is normally very strong, but not incredibly scary because it's very slow. But any ability that doubles your speed just for being around is going to be really scary to deal with, especially for a team like the Snan Gym Retirement Home that doesn't have weather counter. So as long as Charizard Y is on the field, they're going to have a lot of trouble dealing with that fast Venusaur and a particularly strong Heatran as well, which I can see really easily trapping the Toxapex and making all the fire types on Becca's team very difficult to deal with. Um,
Yeah,
on the flip side of that, fucking, I don't know what we refer to him as username wise at this point. Um,
Tara.
Tara? Yeah, that's right. Tara has a lot of fast threats that are going to be neutrally difficult for Becca to deal with. Zeraora in particular is like base 143 stat. I think it's the fastest Pokemon, save Regieleki in our format. So it's going to be really nuts to deal with right off the bat. It'll be interesting to see what their leads are because whoever can kind of take the speed control early on, I think is going to gain a huge advantage here.
Well, I'm not going to keep them any longer. I'm going to type in the chat that we're ready to go, and we'll hit off with our first Battle Knights battle ever. Yay!
Our
Nailed
first
it.
Battle Knights battle. I'm excited for gaming. For gaming.
All right, I hit them with the "You are free to start." So we'll see if they see that. Maybe they won't. Maybe I should ping them on Discord as well. Yeah, I'll do that as well because they might not have seen that.
Boom, boom, boom.
Is Tara around? Because I think
Uh,
this
he
was
might
this
have
would have been
stepped
so
away for a
epic.
second.
This would have been so epic if I was just like, "Time to start," and then they started. But now we're just kind of waiting here. Hi,
Well,
everybody.
while we oh wait, he's back
Okay.
once again. Back in front. Cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool. So yeah, right away we see that Charizard lead, dropping the sun on the field immediately so that it can't be like stopped by just having hazards get put up because Charizard Y is very weak to Stealth Rocks. It'll take half its health in damage. And obviously since it's a Mega Pokemon, it can't use an item like Heavy Duty Boots to avoid that damage. Becca's team also has very few, well, not few, but slower hazard removal setters. You wouldn't use like Defog on Charizard Y because you want to get all the offensive pressure out of it you want. But Landorus and Mandibuzz could easily be packing Defog for just regular hazard removal. But with something like Mega Medicham, it's very threatening to try and do that in front of Tara's offensive threats. Um,
This will be a pretty difficult matchup for Tara, even if this is because of Charizard's flying type. Maybe it would have a flying type attack in its arsenal that could beat it up pretty easily. And knowing Becca, how she maybe has tried to prepare for this match, she probably has put a flying type attack on this thing.
Yeah, see, like Air Slash probably a must-have for Komo and for Mega Medicham. Unfortunately, these Pokemon are both speed tied, so it'll really come down to how well they're trained in speed and whether or not they've been giving attacking or speed natures for the other. I'm sure both trainers know what theirs has and is calculating based on that. Personally, if I had like a speed nature on my Charizard or my Medicham, I know that it's kind of a 50-50 whether or not it's going to be a speed tie. So I'm probably not going to risk Charizard here because I don't think Charizard ever survives like an Ice Punch or a Thunder Punch, for example, from Mega Medicham at this point. But Fire Blast is strong, especially under sunlight. Like it's really a risk reward sort of situation here. I could see both Pokemon switching out, to be honest.
And
Yep.
that's correct. They both did. So now we
Yeah,
have.
don't want to
Wait it
risk
out.
your mega so early on, especially when it's kind of vital to your strategy for taking out some of the key threats on the opponent's team. I think Becca probably came out with the better turnout here. Primarina has a great matchup against Kamoo, and can like set up or can just start wall breaking immediately.
Two
Yep,
switch
we see.
outs immediately for Tara,
Yeah,
but it ended up
fortunately,
working in his favor there.
that's true. Unfortunately, Tara put under some immediate pressure from Becca's team. Has to switch into Celesteela. Not something you really want to see from Tara's team with all the fire type pressure that Becca's bringing to this game. Now with something like Heatran, it's kind of a free game to set up Stealth Rocks or some other passive cover. Assuming Celesteela leaves the field here, because it would probably be one shot by Heatran under sunlight like this.
Here, hold up. I'm going to turn down the effect volume and everything a little bit so that it doesn't overpower us.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Oh, straight into attacking move. That is rough for Kamoo. That is a big physical threat on Tara's side of the field that's now pretty much crippled. One good shot from anything on Becca's side is gonna finish it off. But it does have enough pressure to force Heatran out here at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
Into what
problem.
exactly?
That's the problem with having this, getting into this sort of cycle where you keep switching out, that just like eventually you're just going to get slowly chipped away. Oh,
Yeah, and we see the
Clangorous
Clangorous
Soul.
Soul, which sacrifices 33% HP for a stat boost to all stats. And it had Throat Spray, which boosts special attack when you use a sound-based move. So that's a pretty common set for Kamoo to pack. It's a very quick and powerful setup that it can use. However, after having taken over 50% damage from Heatran earlier, now it's definitely in range of a priority move, for example, or really anything with like a Focus Sash that might want to
Oh,
hit back.
big hit
Yeah,
from
but
Boom Burst.
oh yeah, Kamoo can hit hard after a boost like that,
Yeah, the
which
problem
is
there
really
was that
scary.
Primarina is not a fast Pokemon, so Becca had to get out of there because I feel like that would have been a really hard hit to that Primarina.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Primarina acts as sort of a the odd one out, I would say, in this sun based team that she's fielding here. So it's helpful to keep it
Definitely.
around.
Yeah, Primarina's almost certainly around for that fairy type pressure, seeing as Tara is packing literally like two dragons and a fighting dragon and a fighting type. There's a lot of reason to bring that fairy type around, even if it does suffer in sunlight. However, setup Komodo is going to be hard to wall. Yeah, Mandibuzz, known for being like a tank
Oh,
generally, obviously getting shredded here. Becca elects to sack it, seeing as there's not really anything that can switch into Boom Burst at this point for free.
just
Um,
need to get that Pokemon that's fast enough to hit that thing first before it
exactly.
hits you.
Or something that has a focus sash potentially, something that can just get around it quickly. I don't think Becca's packing any priority, unfortunately. So we'll
Uh,
see here what the game plan is.
yeah, Focus
Sorry, go ahead.
Sash in a league like this where it's one per, like one of each item is allowed, and that's it. It's more likely to
Yeah.
be there because if you don't have, if you can't just like put leftovers up, there you go. There's a kill
Ooh,
on the
we see
Como.
Choice Scarf Landorus. A very solid choice. I've gushed over Landorus a million times, but it can literally fill any role. And in this case, Becca has elected for Choice Scarf to really snipe faster threats like that. I'm sure it's Choice Scarf in order to outspeed Zero Aura and hit it with an Earthquake that probably one-shot it. Smart choice, and it paid off for a setup sweeper like Kamoo.
I believe this Flygon has Levitate though, so it'll have to be switched out on.
Yep.
And there
Yeah.
it is. And now we're back to Primarina. I could see
Yeah, but
Becca trying to guess that a switch out's going to be coming here and maybe trying to boost some stats for setup as combines.
well, Primarina came in off of the came in first before the U-turn, so unfortunately she won't be able to get
Oh,
any pressure off
yeah,
in
you're
front of
right.
this Zero Aura. A smart switch in for Flygon though, considering Flygon's its ground and Dragon type moves aren't going to really do anything to a bulky Primarina. We see that Scarfed Landorus again, putting pressure immediately on Zero Aura. Probably what its entire job is. Ooh,
Oh,
a
we've seen a
very smart
knockoff.
prediction. A very smart prediction from
There goes
Becca.
the choice scarf.
Yeah. Seeing that, like, as the opponent obviously knows, Tara obviously knows that it's scarfed at this point. So Zero Aura doesn't stand a chance against it. So Becca took advantage of that and predicted with the knockoff, and now has eliminated Flygon's ability to outspeed Landorus, which is very smart. Now Landorus is probably the fastest thing unboosted on the field, so that's a big get for Becca's side.
A big Stone Edge, not enough to get it even into red, however. But we
Yeah,
shouldn't see Primarina be able to outspeed a Flygon, so this is a little tough. Do you
yeah.
think
You
you'll see the
see,
sacrifice here?
um, the Landorus might come out here for the intimidated and into the Stone Edge, although it depends on what Flygon is packing. I don't know what physical moves Landorus would be bothered by that it gets. Potentially an Ice Punch, but I'm not sure if it gets that. Now that it's not choice item, though, it can kind of be anything. So Tara might predict a switch here and go for something anyway, seeing as Prima's already on low HP.
Oh,
We do see the prediction for a switch, and we see U-turn instead. Probably a smart choice. Heatran's pretty bulky and takes Stone Edge neutrally, I believe. Although without Choice Scarf, could have gotten some traction with an Earthquake off on it. It doesn't matter though. Mega Medicham will absolutely beat its way through a Heatran, so Becca's now back on the back foot.
we're seeing a lot of defensive switching here in this battle, so
Yeah, both players are trying to make an opening off of the one of the opponent's Pokemon. There's a lot of good coverage options still, preventing anyone from using like their big Pokemon too soon.
I definitely agree that the Flygon staying in would
Oh,
have probably been a great bet there, as we see.
ah, that's a nasty high jump kick miss. High jump kick has a 10% chance of missing, and it cuts your HP in half if you miss. It's
That
a really risky move to use because it's 120 base power.
it's game
Landorus, a
changing.
very smart switch in for it, but that is, yeah. Tara's probably right. That could be curtains, seeing as Medicham doesn't have the ability to take on any of Becca's offensive pressure now.
Yeah, that's the huge risk in picking a Pokemon like Medicham, who is very strong, but of course that high jump kick always comes with that risk. We do
Yeah.
see the Charizard Y switch into the Toxapex, however. You think they're gonna go for a Solar Beam? If it has it, perhaps it
Solar
doesn't.
Solar Beam would be an interesting choice here. I don't know what on Tara's team it makes a good target for, personally. Toxapex takes Solar Beam neutrally
Oh,
and
it
takes it
does.
pretty
Yeah, it's a
well.
poison type. Yeah, it's
Yeah, so it's
defensive.
gonna and its special defense is out the fucking sky, so it doesn't really care too much about that. I would probably say Landorus is the better choice against Toxapex,
Oh, an
but
Ice
we do
Beam, it
see
does
Heatran come in.
nothing to Heatran.
Now, if Heatran has Magma Storm here, Heatran could be built to actually trap and kill Toxapex before it can escape. It'll be interesting to see if Tara predicts that and switches, or if Becca. Yep, there's the Magma
And
Storm.
it missed.
Unfortunately, the miss,
Nothing
but Scald's
got
not going to do
scald.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Half power under sunlight and Toxapex is not very strong on its own. And you don't even get the chance of that burn against Heatran because it's a fire type. Looks like Becca foregoes the Magma
Gonna keep
Storm.
with the scald.
Yeah, an interesting choice to keep Toxapex in here, although at this point, Tara's opportunities for switch-ins are few and far between.
Well, that
But
was a great switch in there with the levitate.
bringing Flagon on the up for the levitate.
I felt like Flygon should have stayed in initially against the Heatran because of the 4-time weakness to grounds.
Yeah, unfortunately, when Flygon came in originally, that was on the same turn, and then Heatran switched out on that same turn. Like Heatran came in, and Flygon had already used U-turn, so there wasn't
Yeah.
really a choice on Tara's end. Had to choose somebody to bring in. But now there's definitely some pressure here. Something I noticed earlier, its Choice Scarf Stone Edge set is probably built specifically for taking out Charizard Y. But now that it doesn't have the speed to necessarily guaranteed do that, it'll be interesting to see if Flagon's rule changes here, because it doesn't really have a great matchup against anything but Heatran and Charizard at this point.
So we see a Stone Edge against the Toxapex here. Not a lot of damage there. Just that
Mm,
bulk really helps it.
yeah. Unfortunately, you really have to land something super effective on Toxapex to get some traction against it. Interesting to see Stone Edge coming out against Flygon potentially. That probably wouldn't have done too much on its own. Its potential, there's potentially like not a lot of offensive pressure besides Stone Edge Earthquake on Landers at the moment. So just trying to fish for some chip damage on Tara's offensive threats might be the plan right now.
Yes, yes, and fish and chips. Yes, of quite. So there was a prediction for a switch out from Tara there. So when Becca switched out, Tara also switched out. So that was interesting.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think Becca made the best choice here uh, for a matchup. Zero Aura usually packs a lot of fighting type moves, and it usually comes with some kind of setup move as well. I would imagine we see if it has Drain Punch, I don't think that kills Heatran, so I think we see a switch out if that's the case. Otherwise, if it has close combat or something
And there it
stronger,
is.
there it
And
is.
it doesn't get the
Goes
kill.
in. Yeah, Heatran's very bulky, and damn, that's
Oh,
Focus
focus
Sash Zero
sash.
Aura.
Oh, that's beautiful then. So Tara maybe
I'm
knew
sorry.
that the Heatran was not gonna.
That's not Focus Zero Aura. That's just a
Oh!
really lucky Zero Aura.
Wow! So it
Survives
hung
on
on
one.
naturally with the 1%.
Yeah, that's very crazy.
But now the close combat's completely shattered its stats. It's gonna be switched out with 1 HP left.
Yeah, there's not a lot it can do against Scarf Landorus, who, as we saw earlier, is built to take on this Zero Aura, and it can freely just U-turn, seeing as Zero Aura is now on 1 HP and can literally be taken out by anything. So just a momentum gain like this from Becca's side is all positive momentum.
Do you believe that
Um,
Tara should have just sacrificed Zeraora for another hit, considering the 1 HP? It's going to be really hard for it to do anything. I guess it's because it's really fast that maybe it can get something off
yeah,
in the future.
At this point, you have to start thinking about what your remaining win conditions are. Charizard Y is not the fastest thing on Becca's team potentially, but it is one of the most threatening things. If you can eliminate Charizard Y, you can severely reduce Venusaur's threat level, and then basically you're only worrying about Landorus. So, considering that Flygon's lost its Scarf and is no longer guaranteed to outspeed Charizard, your best option against it would probably be that Zero Aura, an electric type move against the flying type Charizard to take it out quickly, or at least put on the pressure to force something else in. Zero Aura is definitely an effective weapon, even if it is at low HP.
That Celesteela comes in. As you can see, it is 5v5, but that doesn't really tell the story because a lot of these Pokemon are heavily injured from being switched in and out a lot.
Interesting. Ground type hidden power. Do you think that's probably for dealing with Heatran if Heatran thinks it's safe switching in on Celesteela?
That could very well be the case, definitely. I mean, Heatran was
Yeah.
one of Becca's premier Pokemon that was drafted, so probably was. Oh, and we see the roost there. Yeah, probably
Yeah.
was predicted there. The Heatran.
That's very interesting prediction on Tara's end. Um, Oh, and there's
Oh, the
the
Stone Edge
Stone Edge trying
missed.
to take it. Fortunately, Venusaur probably wouldn't have taken much damage from it anyway. But now Venusaur is set up in the sun, and basically, I think the only thing on Tara's team that it doesn't want to deal with is that Celesteela. And who knows, we could see something like Hidden Power Fire or something else crazy on its set still.
And the Giga
Giga
Drain
Drain comes
takes out the
out.
Flygon. Flygon. Tara thought the Flygon might have been faster, but with that sunny day, Venusaur got that hit off first.
I think at this point, Tara's just sacking the Flygon. There's not a lot of pressure it can put down with its HP and its lower speed. And considering, it's interesting that Celesteela didn't come out to try and wall the Venusaur, I'll say. But obviously, Tara thinks that Celesteela will be needed for something else on Becca's team still. Potentially that Primarina, to be honest.
Well, the Celesteela comes out right now, so see what it can do against this Venusaur if the
Yeah, we'll
Venusaur
see.
stays out.
See what Venusaur can do against it. Venusaur doesn't typically bring moves that can hurt something like Celesteela. Yeah, Grass and Poison aren't going to really do anything to it. So it'll be interesting to see what else is on this thing's set.
Becca does have a little bit more versatility here, I would say, so perhaps you could see her switch out here, or you probably will
Yeah.
see her switch out here.
Yeah, Becca's done very well with keeping her resources healthy and keeping the right ones around. I think sacking Mandibuzz off early on was a smart choice, considering that basically it got her the momentum to kill Komodo. And from there, not a lot else. Like Mandibuzz wasn't needed for a lot else, seeing as Zera Aura and Mega Medicham could probably freely kill it. Weather Ball, an interesting choice.
Oh, and it's perfect. Yeah, super effective fire
Yeah.
type Weather Ball.
Yeah, Weather Ball in any kind of weather changes its type to fit the weather. So in this case, fire, obviously, and then it doubles in power. So that is a 100 base power fire type move coming off the Venusaur. Very smart choice considering Celesteela is on Tara's team. I don't remember if Tara had anything else that really doesn't like fire type moves like that. But definitely smart tech to bring for it.
You could see this Celesteela. Oh no, okay. So I thought perhaps the Celesteela would have been sacrificed to get the Zor out.
Yeah, considering Venusaur is still in the back, I think keeping Celesteela safe, probably smart, even though that Weather Ball, ooh, and Solar Beam, just like you said earlier, probably existed.
The Ice Beam's
I,
out. Perhaps Tara thought that this was the dragon form, but even then it would have been a neutral attack.
right, I think Ice Beam is probably for Landorus, to be honest. There's probably not a lot that Scald, for example, is doing under the drought condition like this. So saying as Ice Beam is a neutral attack against Charizard Y right now probably was the better option somewhere in the math. Scorching Sands, really interesting tech to bring. That's a newer move from Gen 8. And like you saw, it has the potential to burn. It's like ground type Scald, essentially. I didn't even realize Charizard Y got that move. That's a very interesting one to bring. Probably specifically for Zeraora and Toxapex, if I had to guess.
The two battlers are currently discussing stuff. It's not caught up on the stream yet, but you'll see it soon enough when the chat moves up a little bit. Currently, we're, I guess, at a bit of a Tara's at a bit of an impasse here, trying to figure out what to do next here. Kind of on the ropes now.
Yeah.
We have that
Interesting to
Medicham,
note.
which missed the high jump kick, which has less than half its HP left. We have the 1% on the Zeraora, and the Toxapex now will be taken out.
Yeah. And like 20 something percent left on Celesteela. Tara's really been forced into a corner here. Interesting to note, we haven't actually seen any stab moves on Charizard Y yet. We've seen Roost, Scorching Sands, and Solar Beam. So I'm curious to see if Tara even bothered to bring a fire type move, or just brought a flying type move like Air Slash, something to that effect, to deal with the fighting types on Tara's team.
Yeah, I was right about that Solar Beam earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, that means that this is entirely a sunny day strategy that Becca went with here, bringing that
Exactly.
Solar Beam there.
Becca playing it really smart and careful at the end here, despite Tara being on. Oh, goddamn! Not even risking it with Fire Blast on this set. Becca brought Weather Ball on Charizard Y as well, kind of meeting them in the
And that will
middle
be it.
between Flamethrower and Fire Blast for a solid Fire type move with perfect accuracy.
So we see a 5-0 win, Becca over Tara in round one to start their seasons. What do you think about the battle, Nick?
I think it was very interesting. I think Becca's team does not need to only function as a Sun team, and that's what makes it incredibly dangerous because it can probably play in a number of different modes where Sun is just one of the threats you have to watch out for. So when you can't prepare for just that one thing, for just Sun, it makes it that much more dangerous when it actually does come out.
Yeah,
Um,
I think what we're seeing here is an affirmation of what I think has been the consensus here, that Becca is somebody to be scared of in this league if you're a challenger, if you're a competitor, and this was a pretty outstanding performance from her.
Definitely, definitely.
And I wouldn't say
Yeah.
that Tara did the best that he could, but I
I
it
think
was just very
Tara
difficult.
I think Tara played very well. I think he just brought the wrong team to deal with this. I think bringing the number of physical attackers with Zera Aura being. I think the key moment actually in this battle was when Flygon lost that choice scarf because Becca predicted its switch in. Um, it wasn't like incredibly difficult to assume that it would be coming in, and it's possible Becca just wanted the momentum from knocking off anything that might switch in, wasn't like necessarily predicting it exactly. But because Flygon lost its choice scarf, the only thing on Tara's team that had the speed to deal with choice scarf Landorus or chlorophyll Venusaur um, was that Zeraora, which got bodied by the threat, like by the Pokemon that Becca specifically brought to counter it. Um, Yeah. Honestly, really good prep on Becca's part and two unlucky turns on Tara's part that really kind of made a lot of good gameplay crash, unfortunately.
Yeah, if we saw the high jump kick, a lot of stuff might have been changed.
That's
I
true.
say we're gonna take a short break here, and then maybe we're gonna go into some past battles, maybe some other stuff. So stick around, and we will be right back.
bubble.
Hi guys,
Hello?
welcome
Is this
back
thing on?
to the stream. Hold up, let me bring that up. Hi guys, welcome back to the stream. I guess I should actually update
Let me
these.
guess no.
Yeah, it is. Can you hear me? Oh wait. Oh sorry, my mic was muted. Sorry. Welcome back to
Oh, I
the
can hear you
stream.
now.
Yeah.
What?
I'm gonna update these real quick on the graphic while we still have it up.
Hey, how are the people doing? Let me hear a people in chat if you're doing.
Are you doing?
Are you?
Any doers? Any doers?
Any doers in chat?
We have a good surprise here. So, we talked to Becca, and she's interested in coming on and sort of discussing her win that just happened on stream 2 seconds ago. Um, you just wanna you cool if we just bring her in?
Yeah.
All right, I'll drop her in here. Move to stream talk. Hi, how's it going?
Hello.
Oh,
Congratulations on that.
thank you. I am there. I'm still like freaking out a little bit.
Yeah, my first question was gonna ask how are you feeling after that battle?
My heart is still beating really fast, but that's just like my normal Pokemon battle reaction, like no matter how it goes.
Yeah,
Um,
mine was too.
but
Yeah, I know how that feels.
You're making me panic. You're making me panic.
Um,
yeah.
No, that definitely makes sense. Impressive win.
Thanks.
I loved a lot of the tech you brought, specifically for some of the threats on Kara's team. Do you want to talk about your prep at all, or like your thought process
Sure.
in it?
Yeah. So I made a Google Doc with our teams on there and just kind of like wrote down my initial thoughts about um Tara's team. And honestly, they did not bring the Pokemon I was most scared of, which was Volcanion, which they said um their research like it wouldn't have done enough damage, but I was very afraid of it. So a lot of what I was like doing was trying to like have a game plan for that. So when that wasn't on the opposing team, I was definitely relieved, but it was still like obviously a lot, it felt a lot closer than like the final score would have shown.
yeah, definitely. I would say that a big turning point was that high jump kick miss. What did you think about
Oh yeah,
that?
that was like definitely kind of a game saver for me. Like I might have been able to come back from it, but it definitely made it a lot easier from there on out with that. damage on Metacham because I think Lando Earthquake does not OHKO. It does like 99% to Mega Metacham. So I needed some chip on there, and getting 50% chip is very helpful.
It would have been the first time you got 99% out of Pokemon because of that natural 1% on
We saw
those.
that
Yeah.
Zeraora go down to one. We thought it was Focus Sash. And then we looked at the chat and it wasn't. So we kind
Yeah.
of popped off.
We were like, wow, Focus Ash. That's a very good tactic, I guess, because it worked out. But nope, just a little bit of luck on Tara's part to
Yeah. And
go
that
against
was
the high jump
definitely
kick.
like why I brought this Scarf Lando just kind of to completely wall the Zero Aura. Because that, I mean,
Yeah.
that was definitely a threat, but like as long as I could move first,
W-
um,
Once we saw
I could do a
Zeraora
lot.
starting to outspeed pretty much his entire team, we were tracking that it was Choice Scarf. I started gushing about your Lando again, because it's just so good at like
It
filling whatever
is.
role you need.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the exact option you would want against something like Zeraora, and it's pretty solid for like doing chip damage and finishing off some of the other offensive threats I think Tara brought. So a really solid weapon. I think my favorite turn, like my favorite move that happened in it, and I don't know how intentional it was, but when
Hmm.
Zeraora came in on the Lando, and you'd already revealed that it was Choice Scarfed,
Yeah.
and you predicted that he would switch out, so you didn't go for the Earthquake, and you just went straight into knockoff, and you got Flygon's Choice Scarf. I think that was the biggest play
Yeah, that was,
because
yeah, I definitely didn't think he was going to stay in right there. I didn't know what he was going to switch into, but I figured knocking off like whatever item would be helpful.
yeah,
Um, at least get in like it would be decent damage on Metacham if that switched in, even if it wouldn't have done like knockoff damage. But
definitely, yeah. Bagging the Choice Scarf on Flygon, I mean, it kind of served a similar purpose as your Landorus did, where
yeah,
it was there to take out a faster threat. Like Charizard would not have liked hitting Stone Edge from
no,
that Flygon, and it really didn't have to worry about being threatened out every time from there on in the battle, which I thought was very important.
yeah. It was scary because both the Mega Metacham and the Flygon, like without the scarf, speed tied with my Charizard.
Hmm.
So like winning the speed tie at the end of the game was, I mean, it was nice. Obviously, it probably like wasn't a huge deal at that point, but it's always nice to win a speed tie.
Definitely. Did you go max speed nature, or did you go with a special attack nature on Charizard? I'm
Let
curious.
me do. I went max speed.
That makes sense.
Just like there was just like a lot on his team that it would have like it either would have been a speed tie, and I would rather have the chance for the speed tie because otherwise Charizard is not the most defensive Pokemon, and I needed it to set up Sun for me.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely, definitely.
you utilize Sun a lot in this. I had predicted earlier. I think you kept your Charizard Y in when a Toxapex was out, and I was like,
Hmm.
oh, it might have Solar Beam, and it turns out it did have Solar Beam, and
Yeah,
also that
even
Venusaur
though
worked
yeah,
really well in the Sun.
Scorching Sands was better against the Toxapex, but like, and I wasn't completely thinking, but like also that would have been a little bit of chip on the Celesteela, and not a lot, obviously, where Scorching Sands wouldn't have hit it. But yeah, Charizard was just, I'm really glad I was able to draft it because I think it is a really cool mon. I'm a big fan of Mega Charizard Y.
Yeah, it
It's
did a
very
fantastic
cool.
job.
I
Uh,
think the moveset you put on it was very interesting. We were talking about at the beginning of the game that it probably has like stab flying type move, stab fire type move. And then you reveal Scorching Sand, Solar Beam, Weather Ball, and I'm like, God
Yeah,
damn.
like none of those. Yeah, Weather Ball is a really cool move. I actually had Weather Ball on three Pokemon on my team.
Really?
yeah, we saw
Yeah.
it. We definitely saw that. And we were
We
like,
saw it from
wow,
Venusaur.
yeah, that
Yeah,
was a
it also
fantastic
had it
choice.
on Primarina, who didn't I
Oh,
I was
that's
honestly expecting Primarina to do a little bit more work, but it was just kind of slow to do a lot. But um
Primarina being able to threaten out like Komodo early on in the game really
yeah.
saved a lot of the momentum where he was trying to set up with Clangorous Soul. But that's very nifty tech for Weather Ball and Primarina because I think Jay's the one who mentioned it. It kind of suffers in sunlight from being a water type, but giving it that Weather Ball to kind of thrive, that's a very smart option. I'm sad we didn't get to see that.
Maybe
I
some other
mean,
time.
yeah. Pre-Marino is just I was like, obviously I just kind of dropped my last pick right away and picked up Pre-Marino, but I think it really, especially against Tara's team, is uh a lot of dragons, a lot of fighting types. So it just felt like a good mon to bring, um, just to offer a little bit of pressure, even if it didn't do a lot.
Definitely. I know a lot of your Pokemon really performed well here, but if you had to pick an MVP from this match, who do you think would take it out of your
I
team?
mean, probably Landorus, just kind of like I don't know that how many I don't remember how many kills I got, but just like pivoting around, putting pressure on. Um, I also really appreciated Venusaur in the end game there, but I think Landorus really kind of is probably going to be my MVP for most of the season, I'll be honest. So,
Number one overall, definitely.
yeah.
It's definitely a huge threat. I'm curious as like at least one last question.
Yeah.
Charizard Y suffers from a really bad matchup against hazards usually, Stealth Rock in particular.
Yeah.
Did you have a game plan for in case Tara did bring some Stealth Rock setters, or
I mean, I
did
did
you just
have
kind of gauge you
Defog
went?
on Mandibuzz, who
Mm,
obviously didn't stick around very long. Um, but I didn't I don't remember like he doesn't have a lot of options for setting up stealth rocks. Like obviously Toxapex is usually kind of a hazard setter with toxic spikes and stuff like that. But I honestly wasn't like super expecting stealth rocks. So but I did bring the Mandibuzz just in case to hopefully deal with that. I probably wouldn't have like done what I had done if he had set up stealth rocks earlier, where I just kind of sacked Mandibuzz because I didn't really feel like it was going to be super helpful. I was like, I can deal because it helps deal with Toxapex too. It's um, got taunt and knockoff, in addition to defog, so it definitely can help deal with Toxapex a little bit. But I had plenty of answers. I felt like so it didn't feel super necessary. Felt like a decent mon to sack and get a better mon in position.
yeah,
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Very smart gameplay. Loved the prep that we saw come out. I'm terrified to play you in round 10.
it's a while for
I'm
now.
scared of everyone, honestly. Like I I'm really like I haven't played singles in so long besides like playing in game. So like my brain just thinks in double battles and it's definitely been kind of an adjustment to like there's just a lot more switching happening. Like the games are a lot longer in singles than they are in doubles. So it's definitely been it's definitely gonna be a fun challenge. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I'll see you in round four, so I'm a little bit
Oh
before
yeah.
that. Yeah. Thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. We'll I think we're gonna get Tara in here if that's cool with you, Nick, just to
Sounds good.
get a few a little bit to explain himself and the battle and how it went for him. Hi, how's it going?
Hello. Oh,
How you feeling after this battle?
Hey, don't worry, you played good.
Yeah.
pointed. I felt really confident going in, at least with the stupid Lando Metacham matchup, and then it missed the high jump kick.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think the only real other mistake I did was not flame throwing the Venusaur with Celesteela, but I was expecting the Heatran bait
Yeah,
at that
one of
point.
the parts I think could have changed it around a lot was that it was unfortunate on your part because I know you were predicting a switch in, and so you used U-turn with your Flygon, and then it ended up being a Heatran that was switched in, where you probably if you had like Earthquake that could have done a lot to that Heatran. So
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was another one. I know when I tested, Flygon killed Heatran with one go, but I really wasn't expecting them to leave it in. Um, basically, and the scarf was only for Nihalago. Everything else I was okay with the speed, but I wasn't expecting Mandibuzz and Eruption on the Heatran threw me a little bit.
there's that
Yeah,
Weather Ball on the
eruption.
Venusaur too.
I actually was expecting that. That
Oh
was the
yeah.
set that I used to prep against. Was if they do bring Venusaur, I just have to find something that takes it, which was Como, and That
Yeah, that
yeah,
the surprise offensive pressure from Heatran really shredded Komodo early on, and then
yeah.
Primarina kind of walling it and countering it with.
Primarina did nothing to it though. That was the thing. As long as I didn't use a dragon move, Primarina loses that matchup. I had Boom Burst that 2-hit KOs it, and they had switched in on me.
Well,
So
once
I
you had set up, yeah, definitely you had the offensive advantage there.
yeah.
Earlier on, though, I think Primarina forced Komodo out when it was about to try and set up, and I think the original matchup was like Metacham Charizard. You both swapped out, and then it was Primarina Komodo, and obviously you can't get set up against
Yeah.
Moonblast right in your face.
That was also the one lead that I was hoping they didn't use. I was okay with any other lead. Charizard leading, I didn't really have an easy check to, because I was like, well, then I do Zora, maybe Flygon at that point at the start, but then switch-ins and all that could kind of slow me down. So I was hoping, got a 1 in 6 shot of it coming in. It won't happen, and then it happened.
Yeah, bringing in Charizard I thought was a pretty interesting lead as well, because you
Mhm.
usually would want to set something up to counter maybe a hazard setter for Charizard, but like getting that sunlight up immediately kind of set the whole team up to be immediately pressuring. A question
Yeah.
I did have was, did you think about bringing something that like a dedicated Stealth Rock user to try and keep Charizard away, or was your plan with Flygon? Did you think that was just more solid?
I did look at it, but basically my stealth rocker would have been Como, and I didn't want to focus sash it for just that, just to make sure that I could get the rocks off.
Mhm.
So I was like, I'll just deal with it with Zora, Flygon, it, Metachan with a speed tie, does a lot to it. Um, yeah, and so I wasn't too bothered by that. I was setting up and afraid of Magnezone because Magnezone with Magnet Pull was almost a guaranteed win against Celesteela. So I thought that would be the route that they went.
Mm.
Zorora, natural 1%. How did you feel when that happened?
I was kind of shocked. I was really shocked. But I was happy. Like yeah, I knew at that point I was gonna lose the Heatran versus Zora more or less. So it was yeah,
You did get off
it
that
was
close
whatever.
combat though, and it did get a good amount of damage there, just not enough to kill it. But I
Yeah.
definitely think if there's any Pokemon you want to have a 1% on to switch into, maybe it's Zora because of its extreme speed, like its crazy speed.
hmm Yeah, I thought Primarina would be running like Aqua Jet or something, some priority, so it would just
Mhm.
switch in, get the quick kill, and be gone.
That's true. That's probably what I would have put on it, but I think it had Weather Ball, so definitely unusual tech for
Yeah.
that Primarina.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm
But yeah.
curious. Your Zero Aura, I assume it had like Thunder Punch or other electric move or Plasma Fist, right?
Yes,
That's the
Plasma
unique move it
Fist.
gets. Yeah, for taking
Ye-
out Charizard. Its fourth move. Were you planning with setup or did you have an extra coverage move?
It was actually planning for something like a Venusaur switch in just to take a hit or any Magnezone. It was running Fire Punch to try
Oh,
to
benefit
stay in
from
with the
drought.
yeah. So Fire Punch was the route.
Yeah, no, that
But
makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because otherwise Venusaur kind of walls it. That's very smart tech to bring.
you know,
100%.
so yeah.
I
The
mean,
only one I really wasn't prepared for was Mandibuzz, but that kind of didn't become a factor early.
yeah, it
So
Yeah.
worked out well for you.
Good reason not to prepare for Mandibuzz is it doesn't it doesn't wall a lot of your own Pokemon too much. So
yeah, but yeah, it was
Yeah,
fun.
definitely you worked your ass off considering the circumstances. Halfway through the battle, you're able to sort of hang on there, try different things.
Yeah,
Um,
I knew after losing the high jump kick with Metachan because it was Metachan was solely supposed to take one hit from Lando, get the intimidate on it, and still one hit back with Ice Punch. Um,
mhm.
but when I lost that, I was like, well, I'm gonna have to chip damage the Lando and most likely the Charizard because the Lando's still around, and then it just wasn't enough.
yeah, it just didn't
So
work out, sadly. But I think with this team, and I definitely think you have the ability to come into this league and do a lot of damage and hopefully get yourself into the playoffs.
hopefully, I mean, I knew I had the knowledge, but I also knew I'd choke quite a bit when it comes to the battling. So
Thanks for coming on and answering a few questions.
yeah, man, that was fun.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you for
I'll
having
see
me.
you in next round for battling, because I'm pretty sure we're round 2.
Oh gosh. Okay.
All right. I need to use the bathroom right now. Do you want to just like entertain everybody while I go do that?
Yeah, I'll entertain the people. Don't worry about what I might say or do while you're gone.
Oh no, I'm about to get banned. Cool. I'll be right back.
Let's talk politics. Team Galactic did nothing wrong. So I know we're not going to be doing a whole lot more for this stream. We're probably going to talk about some of the previous battles that occurred this week already. I think we've got 4 other battles that we can take a look at. Um, some of them will be a little quicker than others. I don't know if we'll play the replay on stream. We might. One of them is Jay's battle. So I would be curious how he might want to give any explanation on his prep and what he did for that, since we have him here. If we've got anybody else from the battles that have happened this week in the stream right now, let us know if you want to come on and talk about your battle at all, because we would be down for that. Probably can't have too many people do it, because if we have like 8 people come on the stream and talk about their battles, then it's going to be 2 hours, and I don't think any of us have that much time. But if we wanted to have like 1 or 2 people come on, that'd be cool. I don't know any of your Twitch names except for, I guess, Emma's. And Blaze Kicked is the same. That is all. So I don't know if anybody who has done a battle so far is in the stream right now.
Wait, I'm back.
Oh, hello.
I don't know how long you've been gone, Splash. So
Did you miss the whole battle, Emma? No.
jeez. Shoot.
Becca won and scared me with battling prowess.
So, I make this is the problem with me not putting the Discord up on the stream. So that like when people watch this back, they're just gonna be like, "What the fuck? Who's saying what? Like Splash is doing what?" All right, so let's go through our last sort of deal real quick. We were gonna, I guess, talk about the battles that have happened before this one. We've had 4 different ones, so I actually have a scene here where I can bring up the replays real quick and just have them sort of playing in the background while we.
Look at this, guys. He's so prepared. Everybody clap for Jay.
Took me 2 days to prepare, not 2 minutes.
It took him 72 hours.
Right here it is. We don't have to give too much on them because it's been a while, and this is kind of just.
Pepsi Max, your battle was against Jay. How do you not know what it was? Also, I warned you about Flash Fire, and you ignored me and lost. Pepsi Max.
Yeah.
You broke my heart.
we'll talk about that one moving into it. But let's talk about Sleepy versus Eric. This was the first one that we had overall.
Yeah.
Sleepy's Rain team versus Eric's Strong Draft. And what are your thoughts about this?
I thought going into this that Sleepy had very good offensive pressure with a Rain team to really be able to take on Eric. But the amount we've been hyping up his team, I think everybody understands he's a threat now and knows to properly prepare. I think I think Eric's preparation for Sleepy's team was kind of exactly what he needed, and Sleepy made one bad choice at the beginning and lost his Pelipper and kind of doomed his team, which is unfortunate because he does have a strong team. But Eric knowing to cripple Kingdra early on, and taking the advantage of the opportunity to take out Pelipper really just kind of like sealed the deal. You see Azumarill here with Belly Drum, Aqua Jet under Rain. That's monumentally destructive. Keldeo's behind a substitute, though, and already did damage to Azumarill. Like, there's not a lot of offensive pressure you can get out of that situation unless you're willing to, like, switch out, in which case Keldeo is still in a great spot. which is unfortunate for Sleepy.
Yeah, it's like every single time Sleepy sent in his heavy hitters like Zapdos, for example, suddenly was facing a Megalatios, and that's difficult. You can't really get off your electric attacks like you want to. And then we see the Ferrothorn get sent in pretty late, and that's usually a setup Pokemon that gets the spikes off, gets the toxic spikes off. I think it's a Stealth Rock. So this is a Pokemon that probably you would want to see earlier, but now it's coming out with half the team gone.
Yeah, you would want to see it coming out to protect like Pelipper, for example, from the moves it doesn't want to see. But once Sleepy's main big threat, like the Swift Swim Kingdra, is gone, a lot of the Pokemon on the rest of his team that kind of rely on its offensive pressure to keep their checks out of the game no longer have that like mental defense from Eric. And he can kind of run wild with a lot of these big offensive Pokemon that he drafted.
And we
Dragapult, for one, super
Yeah,
scary.
this thing just
There's nothing
swept the
stopping it.
end
Yeah.
completely. Yeah, and one thing that we saw from that Thundurus was that Thunder Wave, which just like Kingdra is a speed demon, and then as soon as you get that thing paralyzed, it's not as much of a threat on that front, and just in general,
Exactly.
it can
Yeah.
miss its attacks and all go flying down. I mean, it got that Hydro Pump off on that Infernape that tried to get that speed kill before it could get that attack off. So that was good for Sleepy, but yeah, it was just difficult. He lost that Pelipper, and it was just kind of all downhill for that from there.
Yeah, I would say the key bring from Eric's side was Thunderous with Prankster. I don't know how familiar Sleepy is with the ability Prankster, for example, or other like more minute details, but Prankster gives priority to a non-damaging move, to like a status move. So it's kind of the perfect choice to bring against Kingdra, who's going to sweep you under Rain, where you can cancel out that Rain boost with Thunder Wave, or anything else he might bring with Swift Swim for that matter. So good preparation on Eric's side. I think it's just more of a lack of knowledge of other like random Pokemon from Sleepy, then that'll just come with experience.
Yeah, definitely. I think Sleepy's really hungry to get moving on and get a better performance under his belt as the league
He's also
progresses.
really hungry. Get him some food.
Yeah, please help.
He's starving.
All right, we're gonna go into looking into our next battle that we had, which was CJ and the Mesa Melmetals versus is that Haru?
I believe Taru.
Yeah, the username threw me off there. It's been a bit. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think the big hitter here was that Rapid Strike Urshifu.
Yeah, definitely. As we'll see later on, Rapid Strike Urshifu literally burns through, I think, half of CJ's team in the mid game and really leaves the rest of it completely open to priority and super effective moves that Haru has in the back. Explosion Gigalith, honestly, such a cool choice
I
to bring as
loved
your
that.
lead. Definition of a suicide lead, and I loved just the purity of that. Unfortunately, the momentum like that CJ gains off of it isn't really it's not incredibly effective, unfortunately, because like Hippowdon comes in and walls most of his team. In fact, I would say Gliscor is the only thing that can get momentum on it by stalling it, and it's still slow and vulnerable to switch-ins, which is really unfortunate. Um,
I did think this Gliscor had a good showing here. Um,
yeah, Dig is very interesting tech to stall out the opponent a little longer, I would say.
yeah, and another Pokemon that we're gonna see later on, way later on, because it's a Gliscor, so it's gonna take a little bit to get what it needs to get done, and then Faint. But definitely that Melmetal we're
Mm,
gonna see soon. That's another Pokemon that sort of when that Rapid Strike Urshifu ends up coming out, the Melmetal sort of tries to clean up some of the
yeah.
mess that has occurred on the
Later,
battlefield.
late in the game when Haru brings out Mimikyu, you see Melmetal come out pretty much instantly. I think Melmetal was brought specifically for Mimikyu because its double Iron Bash or whatever it's called counters the disguise ability Mimikyu has with great like effectiveness, seeing as it hits twice, one to take out the disguise and then one to just be a super effective hit on what is a frail Pokemon in general. So a really good counter for Mimikyu. Unfortunately, the biggest threat on Haru's team is almost certainly that Rapid Strike Urshifu, and not bringing something that can like straight up wall or counter it, I think was a really big oversight.
Do you think that CJ should have gone full sort of annoying with his Gliscor and just kept roosting because he did that knockoff there when he could have just roosted and maybe gotten another just waited the toxic out if he could have and then now
Yeah,
obviously.
I do think stopping and using like a move, just knocking off Hippowdon to try to outstall it in the long run, was maybe the wrong choice. But at the same time, it didn't really matter because Urshifu Rapid Strike came in and just hit it
It just
and
killed
took it out.
everything.
Yeah,
It's two
because
hits.
between switching out, Gliscor was basically at full health and got two shot by a three hit move, so it didn't matter a ton in the long run.
We see the
Um,
Excadrill getting that speed
yeah,
to kill it first. So that was good from that.
Tyranitar specifically comes in to set the sand and basically sack itself, because that the speed boosted Excadrill is the only way to deal with that Urshifu. I'm curious if Haru was just comfortable sacking Urshifu at that point because it had done its job, or if she wasn't familiar with Excadrill's ability as much. Um, I don't know if she's here right now, but that would be a question for her.
Yeah, but this Melmetal just completely. It starts
Mm,
to try to mount the comeback, but sadly the Hippowdon ends up stopping it, and then after that it's just a matter of when.
yeah. Melmetal hits incredibly hard, but as you can see, it's even slower than Hippowdon, which is a very slow mon on its own. And Excadrill really just can't get any momentum against the Hippowdon. Like I said earlier, the only thing that could really stand up to Hippowdon was probably that Gliscor. Everything else, all of their stab moves were either neutral or resisted against a naturally bulky mon, and then it could just fire back with Earthquake super effectively on literally all of them. So very scary to try and deal with Hippowdon.
Yeah, I mean CJ's whole thing with drafting was to make a sand team, and then you see
Yeah.
Hippowdon come in round one to sort of thwart that plan because Hippowdon's like, "Hey, I love sand. I'm okay with
Yeah,
this." And
exactly. It When I saw Hippowdon on Haru's team coming into that matchup, I was like, this is a mistake. You're setting sand for him, so even when you eliminate Tyranitar, then you're giving his Pokemon that boost that he wants anyway. But obviously proved me wrong when Hippowdon could basically tank anything that CJ could throw out. So very, very good prep on that front. I would say there's a clear difference between how CJ prepped for that battle and Becca prepped for her battle today, where Becca didn't rely entirely on Pokemon that needed the weather or that benefited from the weather necessarily. She brought interesting tech that did benefit from it on kind of weirder mons, but uh, she also brought enough coverage to protect that strategy if Tara brought something to abuse it or to just exploit a way around it.
so
So finding that balance without over investing, I think is a careful thing you need to do for these weather teams.
100%, and we have a lot of them. So
Mhm.
you're bound if you're a competitor to run into one. So we're gonna go into the next battle here, which is Six versus EA. Now EA has a few baby Pokemon in his roster, but they're outnumbered, I guess, in this battle. So we see a few
Yeah.
pretty viable Pokemon here to start out, especially Snorlax.
Really strange lead from EA, going with a non-offensive Pokemon into a fire type move on a water type. A really strange choice. Belly Drum, after already being hit by Yawn, basically guarantees Snorlax will be crippled even after setting up. Just not a. I don't know if it was a matter of paying attention or if EA expected to be able to escape the sleep faster, but definitely wasted probably one of the stronger mons on their team against six really early on, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I like seeing that EA is using the belly drum. So obviously, as everything progresses, EA will learn a bit about the mechanics and everything. So it's good that they were able to see what it does, and perhaps will come back stronger round two and be able to use it to their
Definitely.
advantage. We see the Mawile here, who did not end up mega evolving, which we talked about. So EA will make sure to do
Yeah,
that next time.
in the future, rules violations like this, if the opponent wants a rematch as a result of their opponent, re violating the rules, I think that's more than fair. But try to keep on that, guys, and make sure you're paying attention when you throw them on like that. More specifically for Mawile that I wanted to reference, it was a special attacking set, which is very strange for it as a Pokemon because its Mega Form gets huge power, like we saw with Mega Medicham today, where it doubles its attack stat. So it's kind of known for being a really like physically offensive Pokemon that threatens out other things, but EA seemed to adopt a special attacking set with more coverage. I don't know what the plan was there, maybe to surprise some more physically bulky Pokemon,
Can
but
I
unfortunately did not pan out.
can I give plaudits to the Aeron though, however, because it did tank an Aqua Jet from the Empoleon when it had less than half of its health remaining. So that was pretty fantastic. I didn't expect that, but that was great to see. Yeah, so we saw 6 win this one pretty conclusively, but we'll see what EA learns and progresses with as the league continues.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go
And
into our
now
last
this
battle.
fourth one is you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very
Um,
cool. I promised the people that you would give us insider interview
let's
information
see if I can
as
remember this.
to.
Oh yeah, so the Delmise I didn't expect. So my whole thing with the start was I was planning on sending out the Manaphy because if he had a Torterra, I couldn't send out the Rotom first because then it couldn't do the Volt Switch. So I was gonna send out the Manaphy so it can use Energy Ball or U-turn. And then I was gonna if it ended up being Tapu Fini, then yeah, Energy Ball could have been a surprise hit, or like I could have Tail Glowed on it because it might have switched out because of like water versus water.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was really lucky here because I ended up getting the double Psychic, outsped the Charizard, and was able to get that Mega Charizard off the field really quickly.
Yeah, Mega Charizard. Its X form definitely as threatening as its Y form. Maybe not as great for a team setup, but it can set up Dragon Dances and really maul through opponents quickly.
Yeah,
Um,
I was really happy about getting that Manaphy Citrus Berry because it helped out a lot there.
yeah, that Citrus Berry is really key because Volcarona would have threatened out Manaphy otherwise and done damage to something else. Volcarona, just like Mega Charizard, very, very scary if it sets out with Quiver Dance. Can really run through a team as well. I actually suggested he use both of them because you do have like that Kartana, you have Skarmory, which could have been very difficult to deal with. A lot of the solid steel types that don't like that. I think bringing Chandelure was like a big brain play, considering what Kara's team consists of.
Yeah,
Just
100%. That was
yeah,
I wanted to be sort of a counter, um, just in case those fire types were sent out that I could kind of
yeah,
troll
and he
with
did
and
bring
set
a
it up.
lot of fire types.
Yeah, exactly. So I knew that there's a lot of fire types on that team that could
This was
probably
my le this
threaten my
was my least
Cortana.
favorite play from him, where he toxics you in his own Misty terrain. It made me cry. Because like kind of a good play. He predicted your switch, and didn't go for the fire type move. Or maybe he just wanted the toxic for fun. But unfortunately that Misty terrain
And
was
there
up
was the
and
other
was
fire blast for the flash fire after I'd already gotten the flash
yeah,
fire. Yeah. So I ended up getting WD-40 out there and getting some good hits off and kind of
yeah.
sweeping the rest of it. So I was happy with this, definitely.
Chandelier is a super scary mon when it gets set up, especially since it can like boast weird immunities that most Pokemon don't get. I think he brought Scarf Jirachi, which, had the game gone a little bit differently, I think could have been really scary for your team,
That Jirachi scared the
personally.
shit out of me. Serene
Yeah.
Grace is just fucking ridiculous. So I was
Yeah.
scared of that Jirachi super hard. And yeah, if in other circumstances that would have probably fucked me. There were 2 hydro pumps though that missed from Rotom, which was like
hmm
just in a row. So that Jirachi could have been taken care of a lot earlier, but because of those, it became like, oh man, this could be a turnaround for Kura definitely.
hmm
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm happy with how it went. I didn't have to use my Nidoking ever, so that one didn't see the light of day. I wasn't able to use my Kartana, which I had an exhibition match, like a practice match with CJ since we don't have um a shared schedule, and I was able to use the Kartana extremely effectively. So I was really excited to see if I can start using that, but not
Very
now. Maybe
interesting.
some other time.
Can I ask what your prep was, like your mindset was bringing Kartana and Nidoking to this battle, since we didn't get to see their role on the team?
I want to see. I have a prep sheet, so I can sort of try to get myself back into the mindset here. A lot of it was coverage. A lot of it was Kartana being a very powerful mon, but also like I had that Chandelure, and like when you pair Kartana with Chandelure, like every single time, like even if you're bringing out your fire type, you have to run that sort of mind game of like, will he bring in the Chandelure, then flash fire, and then suddenly I charge up the Chandelure, or will he keep it
Exactly,
in?
yeah.
So I like
An
I
excellent offensive core, yeah.
yeah, definitely I wanted to when I have one in, I kind of want to bring the other. And also, just in general, it's a good coverage option because I didn't know exactly who he was gonna bring. Let me see what I have here on my sheet to make sure if I have any sort of idea on this. I think it was just mainly because Cortana is really fucking good and really fucking fast, and I could do some good setups with it regardless of what's out there.
That makes sense.
I also have a pretty decent I have a really fun strategy on my Cortana that I didn't use here, so we'll see if I can use it in another round.
Is it a secret strategy?
It's a secret strategy. I have 9 other battles to go, so I definitely though good battle.
Yeah, a lot of fun to watch.
All right.
Kira, get follow your training next time.
All right, so those are all the battles that we have already done with the results and everything. You can check the website, the new awesome website that's fully filled out and ready for you to browse through. I love it so much. It's a really good fucking resource. It
I'm
helps me a
glad you
lot.
like it. Yeah, it organizes shit really well, and it's great for keeping track of like the statistics for the season. So it'll be fun to look back on later on. Once we're done with the stream here, I'll probably log Becca and Tara's battle that we just saw. A note for any of you, if you want after your own battle, you can go in there and log it yourself. You can just submit a battle on one of the tabs on the left. It won't go in immediately. I'll have to confirm it, but if you just like ping me, I'll know to go in there and do it myself. Otherwise, I can just go in there, make the match and confirm it afterwards. It's all good either way.
All right,
But yeah,
and yeah, we have 5 matches down now, and we have 4 to go. So make sure if you're listening to this either live or in its VOD form that you make sure to get your battles in before Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll wrap up round 1 then and get on to round 2. We'll also have a are we having a vote about the gems? I feel like that's a good.
yeah, I think we can do a vote about that at least towards the end of the battle, if not, or the end of the round, if not sooner. Gems are pretty strong, like Becca was saying earlier. They can be almost as powerful as Z moves, and then they have certain utility aspects that make them more effective in some ways. So that can be really scary. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in on this Battle Nights. I'm very happy with how it went.
Yeah, it was
Hopefully,
fun.
yeah, this is like a sort of test to see how this works. See to show everybody how Battle Nights will go on from now on. So, if you're interested in round 2, being a part of the Battle Nights, you'll have a battle under your belt. You'll feel a bit more confident maybe about your team, and you'll be able to battle in front of everybody, have people cheering you on, and then you'll be able to maybe give some post match interviews like we have here, but you don't have to. Obviously, we give them the option.
Unless we hold you at gunpoint,
Oh
in which
yes,
case
we have a gun plup. He will not let you choose.
it fires bubbles.
Yeah,
But they're
very
Pokemon bubbles, so they explode.
very fast bubbles.
Very fast bubbles. And remember, if you still have a battle to go this round, the only way to be number one in the league right now is to 6-0 them. So pull some shit.
Sorry. Also,
We have
Melbourne
like,
though is there too. Yeah, so thank you everybody for watching. We're gonna sign off now, and I'm gonna post this up on the YouTube channel and everything. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good day.
later, guys.